Hello everybody, I am the Traveler and welcome back to Disturbed. So we're back at the path now where we have the choice of either going to the right, going to the left, or going forward. We just got past that tree puzzle. Um so I'm gonna try there's probably gonna be another bear. There's probably gonna be some horrible thing that's gonna kill me, but I'm going forward. You cautiously step forward into the darkness. You come to a divide. Another one. You come to a divide. Which way do you go? Left. You hear a subtle echo of shifting rocks before you. The fuck is that? An eye appears before you as its gaze pierces the darkness. Before you can do anything, tentacles burst from the ground and grip your body. It pulls you about, but you resist as much as you can. Not sure what you can do, you continue to resist until you can think of something. Your body begins to grow weak as your strength burns away. You suddenly feel yourself pulled to the ground, and you're dragged about like a rag doll. It is not long before the creature devours your body, leaving nothing behind. Your adventure ends here. Got roped by a roper. I died in a minute and a half from starting this video. Alright, so if I go forward, if I choose to go right this time, nope, it's the same thing. So don't go forward, period. Just don't go forward. Go right. The passageway divides before you. Where do you go? Left? You walk forward into the dark, unsure of what lies beyond. Two paths you may go, which you choose. Right. As you make your way forward, you discover a large cabin. An old-looking ship rests against the edge of the lake, with debris scattered about the surrounding area. Oh no! I want to save. No, let me save. Yes. Save right here. Inspect. You cautiously walk down toward the ship. The air is chilling and you fear it won't be a good idea to stay too long. The possibility of discovering something that can help you drives you to explore. You climb aboard the ship. As you take a moment to observe your surroundings, you are only welcomed by the trickle of water brushing against the wood of the ship. Damn. You move about to see where you can go. Every footstep you take feels heavy as you hear the sound of wood creaking under your feet. You feel this ship has been here for quite some time. You explore under the deck of the ship. Nothing but the sound of your footsteps bounce about the structure of the ship. From one room to another, you come to discover a kitchen, although there is nothing unique about it. You feel you should take a moment to inspect it. That's a choice. Inspect the drawers. You pull one out after another, finding that they have been emptied. Dust spreads about the air as you disturb the rest. Checking underneath, you discover a rusty knife resting on the floor. You find that there are plenty of hardened rat droppings dotting the edge of the wall. You take the knife in hopes that you may defend yourself with it. Inspect the oven. You see a lone pot resting upon a dusty stovetop. You gaze downward and open the oven door. Nothing but ash fills the oven chamber. You close the oven door. Okay. You continue a lonely tour of the ship, only to find that there is nothing of use or value other than the knife. You make your way back to the deck and decide to continue your search. Again, you find nothing but empty rooms, left to remain in dark solitude. You discover a door with fancy markings about the woodwork. Perhaps this is where the captain resided. You discover the room of the captain. Unlike the other parts of the ship, everything seems to have been left alone in this room. Before you rests an old wooden desk with papers and assumed belongings of the captain. There is a small bed off near the corner of the room and some chairs on the other side. You have a feeling deep down that you shouldn't take anything, other than the lamp and other objects. There's a small sack of papers in contrast to a lone paper resting by itself. Approaching the desk, you begin to inspect the papers resting on the desk. Yes, because nothing happened there. A stack of papers. Peering about the pages of this collective pile of documents, you realize that most of these are personal notes or journal entries. You pick a few and begin to read. Day 7. The voyage has gone quite smooth as we begin our second week away from home. The spirits of the men are high as we anticipate the discovery of new lands that lie beyond our documented knowledge. It has been my dream to accomplish something world-changing. Together, we move forward with full hearts and unbreakable spirits. Day 66. It has been just over 2 months out at sea, and we have yet to discover anything new. We have suffered through many storms, and sickness has plagued the ship recently. Several of my favorite crew have passed on to the next life. I see the growing doubt in the eyes of my fellow laborers as our voyage continues day after day. Food rations have been cut in half, in fears that we may have to turn back. I dare not let myself think of the failure. Those men who have lost their lives, the sacrifices to make this voyage possible, I cannot let them be in vain. Day 91. It has come to roughly 3 months out here on the endless blue. With much pain, we have turned around. Yes, we are headed for home port. We have just enough food to make it back. I just hope we have a smooth journey back. The spirits of the crew are low and bitter due to our failure. I do not let myself get caught up in thinking of it. Truly, we did not intend for this to happen. The loan document. Notice to the crew. Due to our unexpected predicament, everyone is being split up into groups of 2 and 3. Scouting assignments will be given until we find a more habitable place to settle. For now, we must do what we can. Leave. Seeing that there is little left to see, you take your leave. The wood under your feet crackle as you exit the vessel. You make your way back to where the tunnel divides. 2 paths you may go, which you choose. I went right, I believe, so we're going to go left this time. You move forward into the darkness. You see 3 separate paths within the walls of the cabin. Which do you choose? Did I come full circle, or is this just another... I'm gonna go forward. I have a knife now. If that tentacle monster tries to attack me, I should be able to... Oh no, this is different. You cast a step forward into the darkness. Nope, no, I was right. We did come full circle. So I should be able to defend myself against this guy now, right? So I'm gonna go right. You hear a subtle echo of shifting marks before you. An eye appears before you as his gaze pierces into the darkness. Before you can do anything, tentacles burst. Oppose your bow, but you resist as much as you can. You remember the knife you have found and struggle to bring it out. With success, you hold the knife and begin to cut away the appendages that bind you. The room vibrates as you do cut, and the creature immediately leaves you alone. It takes you a moment to catch your breath. You come to divide. Which way do you go? Haha! So you have to find the knife first. Go right. The path you walk comes to an end before you shines a pillar of light. The light rests on a corpse that seems to have been here for quite some time. Near the corpse sends a lone flower. For some reason you feel hope into your heart as you gaze upon the flower. There's something special about the scene, but you can't put your finger on it. Perhaps it may be best to leave in reverence for now. Okay, go left. You can continue your way into the darkness. And back to here again, so go left. You cautiously make your way through the darkness. You come to a split in the paths. Where do you go? Right? You struggle forward as the way before you becomes completely dark. You notice that there is light off in the distance, and you continue to make your way forward. Eventually you make it into some sort of concrete room. Turning around, you see a hole in the wall where you came from. Your guess is that it wasn't part of the initial design. You turn around to see a door. There being little to nothing in the room, you decide to move on through the doorway. You find yourself in what looks like a basement. You turn about to discover that in each direction there is a door. Boxes of supplies and debris litter the floor and the corners of the room. You notice that there are several markings on the doors and floor, some of which scare you. You get a bad feeling about this place. Inspect. You walk about the room, browsing through the dust-covered storage. You find some rope in one of the boxes. It feels strong to the touch and has minimal wear. You decide to take the rope. Cool, cool. Into the door on the right. You enter the small room. There's a large cauldron in the center of the room, with wood resting beneath. There's nothing on the shelves, as if someone cleaned this place out. You look into the pot, but find nothing in it. With nothing else to see, you exit the room. Left door. You enter into a small room with a large hole in the wall. There are other objects in the room, but none of them in. Isn't this where I just came from? Go back. Middle door. You enter a room full of metal cages. Before you is a hallway marked with questionable markings. You don't like the feeling you have about this place. Whatever was in these cages surely did not like to be locked up. You notice that there is an animal in the cage on the left of the room, but from the dark stains on its fur, it's dead. You cautiously walk down the hallway, entering a room with 2 cell doors. Before you can do anything, a large hound leaps in front of you. The beast doesn't look very vicious, but one wrong move can surely be the end of you. You pull out the knife and prepare for an attack. The dog reacts and starts to growl at you. I know what that sound means. The hound dashes at you and sinks its teeth into you. Even with the knife, you barely cut the beast before it knocks the knife out of your hand. You don't survive long and die a painful death. Your adventure ends here. Who's a good boy? Is the fucking achievement I just fucking got. Door behind me. You walk up the steps. You enter a large room. The air is polluted with dust and spider web covers the walls and ceiling. Where should you go now? The far door. The door struggles to move, but you enter into what appears to be a spider's den. Ugh. The air is thick and the room is a mess of web and body parts. You notice that there are a couple items in the room that could be useful. If nothing else, there is a key on the ground that you will no doubt need. Before you can even act, a large spider... why did I know that there's going to be a large spider A large spider falls from above. You have no doubt that it is hungry. Without hesitation, the spider attacks you. You pull out the knife and stab the spider when you can. Unfortunately, the knife doesn't scale the spider, and it bites you with ease. You begin to lose feeling all over your body, and everything goes black. Your adventure ends here. Sam doesn't save you in this story. Upstairs, then, you discover what looks like a private library. There's a passageway before you with bookcases on the left and right. Browse the books. You take a moment to look at the books. Some of them catch your eye. Rituals of the Ancients, Deception by Music, A Forgotten Power. Rituals of the Ancients. You flip around until something grabs your attention. Pillars of Stone. Years before current times, there were unique religious practices that revolved the Stonehenge. It is said that these stones are lined up in a special way, and often organized in a circular pattern. Organizing the stones this way unlocks an ancient power researchers still have trouble understanding. In the middle of the circle would be a stone, or two, for the keystone to rest on. This is the great mystery of this ancient practice. From ancient records, it is written that the energies from the surrounding stones channel their power into the keystone. You stop reading because the next page of the book has been torn out. Deception by Music. There is a bent page marking a section of the book. You turn to it. The art of charming is not necessarily limited to the instrument, but how the musician goes about playing a given instrument. Some are definitely easier to use than others, and for a skill such as this, there are a few instruments recommended. The harp is one of these recommended instruments. From vicious dogs to shy unicorns, the soothing voice of the harp can calm the troubled heart. Of course, not all creatures can fall for this simple trick, but it can be the difference between life and death in some situations. So I need to find a harp. You're telling me I need to find a harp. Got it. A Forgotten Power. Flipping through the pages, there is one in particular that has ink markings all over it. Raw energy is a powerful substance not to be trifled with. It is merely myth that such energies exist. One does not simply stumble upon a pillar of godly power. Even if such a fate is yours, bare hands cannot contain the force. It must be bent and channeled into a specially crafted vessel to carry it. There have been accounts across time of individuals possessing such power. Although they pass away as sand, their relics of power remain as powerful artifacts that nations around the world would fight for. Okay, let's save and move forward. Oh, no. Don't save over. Something I don't want you to save over. Move forward. That's not creepy at all. You walk up more stairs. You pause as you notice a stone carving of a person praying that is attached to the wall. There is something odd about it, but you can't put your finger on it. With caution, you continue up the stairs. You enter a strange room with a large globe centered about the room. There are windows that let the light shine through. You notice that there is a chest resting against the wall to the right. You also notice that there is another passageway like the previous room. Oops, God damn it. Well, I do want to save, so. Inspect the globe. You say the globe attached to the floor surface. The craft is made of metal, and there is fine detail in the grooves. There are various markings and names scattered across the globe. It takes you a moment, but you find the marking of where you are, Aramor. You notice that there are some hand-drawn markings within the area, made with black ink. There must be something close by that has interested the author of these markings. To add to the mystery, there are similar markings on other areas around the globe. Open the chest. Approaching the chest, you notice there is a lock fastened to it. With no key to unlock the chest, you decide to leave it alone. Well, that would have been nice if I had that key, but the spider fucking killed me. Continue forward. You climb the stairs to find a wall ending your path. Above the end of the stairway is a hatch. Open it. You open the hatch and pull yourself up. You have made it to the top of the tower. Before you is a stone of power, resting upon an altar of rock. Dark vines have entangled the structure as if they were feeding off the energies of the stone. Your body begins to tremble as you stand before the stone. You definitely feel weaker being up here, as if the stone is sapping away your energy. Destroy it. This may be your only chance. You approach the stone and grasp onto it. You lose sight and feeling immediately as your hands become glued to the stone. Oh. I remember this image. Your life is drained from your body. Only bones remain to testify of your death. Your adventure ends here. You have no power here. Open hatch. I'm just going to go up and just so I can see it, and then leave the stone. You turn and begin to exit the hatch. To your surprise, you find it difficult to focus. You suddenly fall down through the hatch. It's closing behind you. You hit your head and tumble down the stairs like a rag doll. With a broken neck, you struggle to live, only to die moments later. The adventure ends here. Okay, I think I've had enough dying for one episode. I'm gonna leave it here. I'll probably pick it up in another episode and take a different path. I'll probably start from the beginning and see if there's a completely different path we can take. That doesn't lead to the tower. That leads to something completely different. But I'm not sure how many endings there are. I'm pretty sure that the majority of them are just deaths. But thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, give that like button some love. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.